It's Thursday morning, and it's time for Tech for Seniors Live, where technology gets its deserved deep dive. This isn't happening via Zoom, so we can't see who's joining the show. So please sign in to the chat box below as we gather around the screen, both far and wide, with curiosity as our ever-trusty guide. We'll navigate the digital seas, a knowledgeable crew, exploring all the tech tips, both old and new. No need for cameras, no need for dress. Just bring your questions and we'll address. From gadgets to apps and all the tech lore, we're here to help, to teach, and much more. So type away in the chat. Don't be shy. Our tech-savvy hosts are here to reply. It's Thursday morning. Let the tech talk flow at the Tech for Seniors Live, the best tech show.
Well, good morning. This is Tech for Senior Live. I'm Ron Brown, and I'll be your host today. Thank you for coming, and thank you for listening. Outlook, Gmail, you won't be able to use the two together. And also NPUs, the new AI chips. Best Buy just announced they're training 30,000 people to sell these new computers, and they're at your store now. We're going to talk all about this morning. We have assembled a great group of experts to talk about all the tech news of the week. Did I get that right, Huey? Tech news of the week. And we are going to have a great time for the next hour. We want to thank you again for coming. And you're probably wondering, who are these people? Well, we're a group of seniors that likes to talk and talk and talk. And we talk so much, we actually have another show on Monday. And it's called Tech for Senior. And we have been at the 5th year, 200, I think it's 219th episode we recorded last week. It was a special on, now I'm having a senior's moment here. What was their special on again? You guys, come on.
Live streaming.
Live streaming. Yes, live streaming for your house and home. And we talked on live streaming. So today but that's a Zoom meeting, and we have a little social chat before the Zoom meeting, and then we have about an hour show. But today isn't a Zoom meeting. Today, of course, is we broadcast this out on StreamYard, so we actually don't know if you're who's watching. So if you could put in the notes of who you are, what the weather is and any questions you have or anything about the show, put it in the chat, and then we'll answer that in a few minutes when we come around to looking at who's watching. So that's our plan for the day. We're going to have a good time. Let me introduce everybody that's here. Bob's away this week, but we have, of course, our regular group. I want to introduce a man who probably needs little introduction. He's of course our co-host on the Monday show, and that is Huey Popluck from Bradenton, Florida. Welcome, Huey, and thank you for coming today.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. How's your week going?
I've got another presentation this afternoon, so I've been busy working on that and trying to watch some videos on Camtasia and another on Canva and another on all the AI stuff coming out. It's hard keeping up with it all.
Lots of change, right?
Yep, and that's why we're here to kind of talk about it, to help everybody out there understand a little bit of it and know what's going on without having to spend all the time we do.
There you go. And of course, a man from Pine, Arizona, who is our music director on our Monday show. He's the president of APCUG, which is your national computer organization. He's also the treasurer, so he's a trustworthy guy. He holds all the money, and probably one of the Carol, his wife, said she's one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. So I guess Ray, as an all-around person, you're a pretty good guy. He's also a techie guy too. So we're so happy to have you on the show today. Thank you for coming.
With an introduction like that, Ron, I have nothing to add. I'd only ruin it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And then, of course, the man who is from the city who is going to have the tallest building in the United States. He's also going to be hooking up to the fastest fiber internet as it's being hooked up down his street. A man who is, we call him multi-dexterous because he teaches Apple, he teaches Windows. He's so smart. And of course, that's Mr. Bill James from Oklahoma City.
Thanks, Ron. I think I'm more dangerous than talented. I appreciate the comment. But yeah, I'm still in awe of this multi-story building they're building. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. I'll be able to see that from my house with no problems whatsoever. And I'm about 17 miles from downtown Oklahoma City.
Well,
I'm in Arizona. I'll probably be able to see it.
Yeah, is the soil okay? I mean, I thought it's farming sort of soil. Can you actually put such a big building down into the ground?
Well, they will have to. They did it for the Devon building, which is a 52-story building.
Mm-hmm.
They started putting these pylons into the ground. It took them about 2 years to get that done, and they'll probably do the same thing for this one.
How many stories will it be, Bill?
It's 102 or 3, something like that. I can't remember. It's supposed to be taller than the Twin Tower buildings, and I don't know what the.
They were 110 stories.
Okay, so it's in that neighborhood.
And in the Empire State, it's 102 if you count the observation tower.
So it's in that vicinity, but it'll be standing out among. I mean, and the thing about it that is even more puzzling is that what businesses are they planning on putting into this? I mean, I don't know, but things have happened. Oklahoma City has just taken a really dramatic turn the last several years, where the naysayers would always come out on the wrong side of history, because what they said was going to happen never did. It's all been for the positive. So we're looking forward for the new building. Hopefully I live long enough to see it.
Well, from your house, you can watch it go up as it's being built, right?
That'll be my my rocking chair pastime.
There you go. Huey, have we got anybody listening to the show today?
We do, and the first one today is our
Mike
friend
Saunders.
from,
Come
yeah.
on, England. European Football Championship for those who are on the other side of the pond. Great weather in UK for exchange.
For change.
Just to remind you guys, the Edmonton Oilers, if you're following the Stanley Cup in hockey, it's back to Calgary for another game. So we don't know who's going to win, Florida or Calgary. So just if you are a hockey player, just a reminder that we're going to see some interesting hockey this Friday. Thanks, Mike. And Dick Vogel, cooling under a fan in Central Florida. Bernard, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan, 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Wow. Steve Powell, Kirkland, Washington, 62. I told you that, Huey. We're 61 degrees. Kirkland, Washington, 62 degrees. Nice. It's really nice here. Ed Weiss, 87 degrees, Central New Jersey. Hot. Richard Clarkson from California, 66 degrees. Now going up to 82 later on. Yeah, I think it's going to get hot here later on today. Mike Ungerman, 2024 hurricane season has commenced early this year in Florida and the Gulf Coast states. Well, what was the first one? It was called, I read it this morning, the name of the hurricane. There's they've identified one that's, I can't remember what the name of it is, but they've started naming them.
Yeah, and the waters are so warm that it's very conducive to the hurricanes getting strong. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be an interesting year.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Jolin. Hi, Jolin. Good afternoon from low country of South Carolina. Jolin, of course, is the techie guru of techies, not techie land, I guess we'll call it. She does computer support for her computer club 5 days a week or maybe more. And she's been doing it for years and years and years. And we always ask Jolin, if we can't figure it out, we ask Jolin because she always is in the know. So thank you for coming, Jolin. We might have a few questions for you today. Clark Walker, currently 84 degrees, going on to 94, Trenton, New Jersey. Plenty of sun, humidity, not too bad. Okay. Jolin, Hurricane Alberta.
Actually, she changed that. Whoops.
Alberto. Oops. Thanks, Ron. Okay. Thanks. All right. Anyway. Okay. There was something.
One more. Just came in.
Mike Lehman from Moncton, New Brunswick, where it is 32 degrees centigrade. And I'm just unpacking my new Samsung Book 4 Edge A. Oh, we're going to talk about that today. Mike, that's great news. That's actually the machine we're going to talk about today. So I am so happy. You know, Mike, what we might want to do is get you on the show next week. Maybe you come on as a guest. Well, send me the note and let me know how you're doing. And maybe we'll get a one-on-one on you for how you're doing with that. We're going to talk about that machine today. So that's really interesting. All right. Maybe we should do some work. We got everybody covered, right?
Yep.
We should maybe get on and do some work. So the first one is an interesting article. It didn't get a lot of press, but I looked at this, and this was Gmail access from Outlook.com email accounts to stop in 13 days. So I was sort of thought, what? And this is the first article I've seen about this. I don't use Outlook, but this is Outlook.com, of course, Microsoft's website. And the article says Microsoft is introducing new security requirements for Outlook.com, affecting access to Gmail inboxes starting June the 30th. We'll talk about that in a sec. Do you guys use Outlook.com? Ray, you don't use Outlook.com.
No, I've been using Outlook, the app Outlook for 20 plus years, almost from its inception. And I like an email client because I have at least 4 active email boxes. And rather than me going to each website to check email for that particular one, I let an Outlook, which is an email client, do all that work for me, and I just see all my messages. But no, so this doesn't affect me at all.
So this would be people logging on to Microsoft Outlook.com, right? Not actually using the app. Okay, let's see what it says. Now, affecting access to users will need to switch to Outlook apps for Android, iOS, Windows, or Mac. David Loss from Microsoft announced these changes to improve security, similar to Google's move away from basic authentication methods. 3 main security changes, including deprecating personal Outlook logins using just a username and password, ending support for the light version of Outlook web app, and ending support for mail and calendar apps. Modern authentication methods like OAuth and two-factor authentication will be required. Basic authentication for Outlook personal email accounts will end on September 16th. Microsoft recommends downloading the Outlook apps or using compatible apps like Apple Mail or Thunderbird. The changes aim to enhance user security against email cyber attacks. So I was wondering, maybe Jolyn can answer this. I wonder if this is going to affect any of her customers with Outlook. Like, none of us use Outlook.com. Is this a big deal or not a big deal?
I do use it, and I also have my main email address, Huey@huey.net, going through GoDaddy, and GoDaddy uses the Microsoft Exchange. And when they set it up for me, I spent about an hour with GoDaddy, their techs, trying to get so I could get my Gmail to work with it because of the way they had the OAuth and all the different things. We finally got it to work, but I have no idea how. And I don't know if this is going to affect that or not, but I also do use the Outlook.com to go quickly sometimes to look at my email. So it's going to affect me, but I use the Outlook program, the apps, more than that.
So if you're listening and you think this might affect you, just put in the chat how you think it will. I think it's something we need to talk about. I guess you know once you use the app, you're okay. You know, it's only if you're logging in on the Outlook.com.
Yeah, if you don't get any Gmail in 13 days, you'll know that it affected you.
Right. Did Jolyn put anything in the?
Yeah, she just did. Yep.
What she said. I use Outlook because
that's her Hilton Head Club.
Oh, Hilton Head has an enterprise account and many in-house emails. Not fond of Outlook, but use it. I've not heard enough to answer the question yet. Okay. Interesting. Well, so but it's a good one to know about, because if you do coming in and people are having trouble and they're using that the web service, then it could be an issue. All right. Well, I just thought I'd bring that up. It didn't get much press, and I was going through the news. I was like, what? And I thought, I got to talk about this because I didn't know much about it. All right. The second one, which we talked a little bit about a couple of weeks ago, was, of course, the new AI chip, and we're all thinking about this as coming. And we talk about PC and Copilot. We talk about all this is stuff that it's happening in the future, but no, it's not. It's here now, as Mike just sort of told us. But so this is Best Buy train. The article is Best Buy trains 30,000 for Microsoft's AI laptop launch. I thought that's pretty cool. So they're of course getting ready for this big sales event, but that's on now, which we're going to talk about. So what we talked in the past couple of weeks, we talked about NPUs, neural processing units, and of course we've always talked, we talk a lot about CPUs, which is called the central processing unit, and that of course runs your computer. But of course, as computers have got more powerful, we now have GPUs, which are called graphical user interfaces. And they, of course, in video this week, you probably all read the articles about it is now number one. It has way surpassed Microsoft and Apple, and it is now over a $3 trillion company, of which Mr. Jensen has just become, is he what? He's almost the richest man in the world. I don't remember where he is on the pecking order, but he's pretty close. So he's doing very well with his NVIDIA card. But now we're looking at a third chip that's going in called an NPU, which is a neural processing unit, which of course runs AI. And that's what we've been talking about a lot in the past. And that's, of course, what's coming out. But is it coming out in the future, or is it coming out? Well, I got, of course, this is my email I got from Best Buy. Shop now, Copilot Plus BC, and new AI era begins. The fastest, most intelligent PCs ever built. So they are now on sale. I'm going to come back to that in just a minute. So if you come over to now, these are Canadian sites. So this is off the Canadian site. So you're probably looking at, these are all about 1,000. Well, you have to drop them by about 30%, but they're going to be the same idea. So the first one is, of course, Acer. It's 14.5 inches. It has a Copilot PC laptop, and it is on for $14.99. And of course, these all have, you guys, they have the Snapdragon X Plus, which of course is the Qualcomm chip, right? This is not an i5, not an i7. It's a Snapdragon X, which pretty much you'll see all of the Copilot, Microsoft Copilot have. So when you go to buy these machines, that's a different terminology, right?
Different chip manufacturer. Obviously.
Yeah, Snapdragon X. So this is now, did I put, is this?
Which normally are driving phones, because
That's right.
Is the Qualcomm chipset for the phones.
So Best Buy worked with Microsoft and chipmaker Qualcomm to build instructional materials and train more than 30,000 employees so far, and is still going. The retailer says its exclusive sales rights to more than 40% of the Copilot PC models, including OLED Surface Pro. Best Buy gained 0.8% at 826 market trading. Geek Squad tech support agents will be doing Copilot demonstration in hundreds of stores and answering questions from shoppers. The retailer will also offer AI computers from brands such as Dell and Samsung, especially because AI is such a buzzword and can be misunderstood so easily. So this is all happening as we speak, and these are the ones online, and these, of course, all have, of course, the Snapdragon X, which has the CPU and the NPU together, and these are the prices, and these are all for sale now.
So, Ron, and me that all the advertisements I say all relate to laptops.
Right.
Now, I've been a critic of at times of some of my computer club members who all have laptops and have never taken the computer out of their home.
Right.
It sits on a desk, always plugged in, which is not good for the battery. And I don't. Are we going to see these neural chips in desktops?
Yes.
Why the delay?
Coming up. Just let's keep going.
And also, NVIDIA is working on the ability to have those chips, and that's what I'm waiting on, because I got an NVIDIA card, and hopefully I can just buy the chip and add it to my computer.
So let's just look at the specifications here. This is an Acer that has the Snapdragon chip in it. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, Windows 11. Now this is Canadian fee, so that's probably roughly around 1,100 US, and that's what they're going to be coming. That's what they're going to be coming out with.
And Ron, point out too, there's two versions of that Qualcomm chip. There's the Plus and the Elite.
Correct. And then if we come over to Dell, again, Dell is now their website was a little bit confusing. Oh, by the way, I should just tell you that these are actually available for pre-order. These machines with the Snapdragon X chip are coming. Although Mike did get one, but this is Dell Technologies introducing new Copilot PCs powered by Snapdragon X series. So again, Dell is producing these now as well. But if we come down now to, of course, what Mike has is the Samsung Galaxy Edge, and this is again the Samsung has already produced this, and this is again. I think Mike bought the Galaxy Book 4 Edge 14. And again, this has the Snapdragon X Elite, which has 12 cores, 3.4 gigahertz. And of course, this is the machine that Mike just purchased. So it is happening here and now, right? This is not something.
And Mike said this.
June 18th was the release date. Okay, so you've had a couple of days.
2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is so exciting. This isn't something in the future that's happening. This is we're getting this happening right now.
And Best Buy is giving a TV set with some models to get a free.
Mike said Mike bought the 16-inch. So this is Mike. This is the one, the Galaxy Book 4 Edge 16-inch. That's the one.
Did he get a free TV?
I don't know.
Now, have you read the articles about Best Buy lately? They're having some serious issues. Their business is way down.
Yes.
And they just laid off a whole bunch of people. Mostly they're outside salespeople. They had people that would go to businesses and explain what they could have, outline. I knew somebody that one of these people came to his house, looked over, said, "You need this Ring doorbell, and you need this ring light, and this ring light, and this is, and we can install it all for you if you want," and so on, and worked up all the pricing for him. Those people are the first ones that got laid off.
So yes, and it's going through certainly some big changes. Certainly we see that in our store here locally as well. But anyway, the point about this that I think that is so interesting is that the Snapdragon X is made by Qualcomm, not AMD, not Intel. Yeah. And I thought that all these that's interesting that Microsoft and this new AI that the PC they bring out uses the Snapdragon X. Now, we will be seeing the Intel obviously coming out with their own NPU. And then we'll see, as Huey said, NVIDIA will be as well, and of course AMD. So all this is coming, right? This is just at the beginning, and I thought it was so interesting that the news article, which was originally, that captivated me, was Best Buy trains 30,000 for Microsoft AI launch. So it's a big thing that's here, right? All right, let's get on with the news articles. And do we have any comments before we go?
Let's see, a couple of things here.
Mike, I keep my Gmail address to synchronize with my Pixel phone, but all incoming emails are automatically forwarded to my Proton Mail account. Gives me 2 screenings for junk mail and scams. Murray Strom, good morning from sunny Victoria, BC. Yes, Murray, it's nice on the island today. Mike, off topic, Denmark 0, England 1. Thanks, Mike. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington, 65 degrees, heading for 80 degrees. Oh, it's going to be a hot one today. Mike Lean, not in Canada. I got $200, no trade-in incentive.
In credit.
Oh, in credit. Right. So no TV. But interesting. So Huey, new computers coming up.
Yeah, just when I get a brand new one, everything changes.
All right. All right. Let's get on with it. Let's get on here and let's do some work. Now, Hugh, you're going to follow me because a lot of these articles I can't see. So I'll start out and maybe you could keep
as I usually do. Yeah, absolutely.
As you usually do. Just to let everybody know, if you want to follow us along as we go through the articles, wrong one. This is our Facebook address, and just type in Facebook, just type in Tech for Senior, and you'll find our webpage, and you'll see the articles as we go along. And if you want to go back in any of these articles and see them, they're all on our page, and they're all referenced, so you can see them. Let me just come down here. I think we'll come down to the first one. Yes, this was let me see if I can just make this a little bigger. We have talked about this before. Hold on. We've talked about this before, and this was the hopes for ACP renewal fade as Senate cancels vote. So Huey, this is the article. This is the subsidization for rural internet for people who, not rural, but for low-income people for internet. And this is a U.S. story, and we've been following this along. We've talked about lots of different things over this, but it looks like the final decision is no decision, as they canceled the vote.
Yep, that means there's no funding for it.
Right.
And it's too bad because it was $30 towards the bill, and it was quite lenient as far as who qualified. So most seniors, unless they had a lot in the bank, did qualify. I was one that did, and it brought $30 down from my monthly bill, which was great.
But there are lots of local incentives. That the article goes on, and there are lots of local incentives. So look, I guess the point is keep looking, talk to seniors groups, because there may be other programs available for you. Yes, this was an article that came out this morning. Google Fi subscribers can now get a free Pixel Watch LTE after bill credits. I just thought I would bring this up. We've talked about Google Fi before. You have to be a resident in the United States to actually to enable Google Fi. It's used worldwide. I would say that this works. Google Fi, there's a lot of great advantages, and I'm a big Google Fi fan. Since I moved back to Canada, of course, I can't use it anymore. But I would say for snowbirds who spend part of their time, Canadian snowbirds who spend part of their time in the United States, like for 3 or 4 months, and you have an address, then this is a great service for phones, for using your phone or internet services or traveling. It's a great service. Huey, do you use Google Fi?
No, I don't. But the point of this that I want to bring up has to do with the Pixel Watch LTE. What that means, it connects to your service provider with its own telephone number.
That's right.
And not all watches have that. The same as not all. I have an iPad that has the LTE built in, so it has its own phone number, so I can use it even without my phone being in my pocket. It has its own number. And same with the watch. You don't need your phone to be with you for you to be able to use it and get things from online.
So the point of I really wanted just to bring this up today to remind everybody, you should really, I think, look at Google Fi if you have an internet or phone service, and look at that as a possible option. It's a great service. It works really well and can be very economical. Bill, did you ever use Google Fi?
No, I have not.
You haven't? Okay. And I don't think Ray does, but
No.
But we don't travel.
Google Voice.
Yeah.
And I do as well.
Just think about it. The other one was Garmin. Google Music app is now available in the Garmin App Store. So this is interesting. So if those of you who have Garmin watches, which are excellent watches, we don't talk a lot much about Garmin, but they do make very popular following, and these are great watches. And now you can use YouTube Music. They have the app in the Garmin store, and you can listen to YouTube Music. Ray, do you use YouTube Music?
Oh, I'm a long-term subscriber to it.
Yeah.
And I know the Garmin name from years ago with their maps. That was their claim to fame initially,
Right.
as a map app. So I
the
didn't realize that
GPS,
they were making phones, watches now, though. Interesting.
Oh yeah, Garmin makes a lot of.
I didn't read this article. I'm not sure how it works differently than a normal YouTube Music subscription.
But I don't think that was available before in the Garmin. I don't think you could put the app
So
on.
How do you hear it? How do you hear the music, as an example?
Well, it'd be Bluetooth to you could use earbuds. They would be Bluetooth to earbuds in your.
But it's coming from your phone, and we worry about the battery lasting on the not the phone, from your watch, and we're worried about the battery lasting on the watch as it is. If you're playing music through it, you're certainly going to eat that battery up quickly.
Well, both my daughters have Garmin. They're Apple people. They're both solid Apple, but they have Garmin watches, and part of the reason is they never have to charge. Like they're really good on battery life. So anyway,
yeah, but they're probably not. They're not playing music through it.
But the watches also have speakers in them.
Yep.
So you can you can play the music will come through it.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. So anyway, just let you know that's available now. And the other one was yes, this was a good article this morning. Hey, we don't know. We talked about this on our Monday show. Prime Day deals coming. Now, Prime, they have not announced yet when Prime Day will be in July yet, but it will be. It's going to be 2 days, or I assume 2 days in July. And already they are. All these companies are starting to get geared up for Prime Day, and the deals are starting now. Yay, deals! Yay, deals! So this was out by Android Central this morning, and this is a list of all the deals that you can get, and there's some pretty good deals, I'll tell you, on watches and technology and everything. So look at the article and you can go through it. But we're starting as we work up in July now to the next to Prime Day, whenever it actually is going to occur. Then we're going to see some fun happening. Like it'll be like Black Friday and Christmas in the summer, right? So there we go. I'm not skipping any, am I, Huey?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, good. All right, now this was just a minute now.
A lot on watches.
Yeah. Yes. Now this was this was actually a good news, bad news story. So Steven Spielberg was giving a big talk at an international conference. You know, he's a big shot guy. And right in the middle of the conference, right in the middle of his keynote, his talk, he got a notification on his Apple Watch that said, "It looks like you've taken a hard fall," and it was an emergency situation. And he took the watch off and threw it on the floor, and he continued on with his talk. But the problem is, if you don't answer that phone, then you don't then of course it's going to send the emergency response, right? So the article is sort of saying, look, it does happen occasionally. Look, it's not perfect, right? But if you do get something like this, don't just ignore it. Click the X at the top and X out, because that means that they know you're okay, and it'll turn it off, right? Just don't ignore it, because otherwise, they're going to come hunting for you. And it doesn't matter, even if you're doing a big international talk, the ambulance services will arrive, right?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, they're gonna look for you and they're gonna hunt you down. So make sure that. Now this was very interesting. This was an article that I saw this morning. This was to do with smartwatches and Parkinson's disease. Now we all know that Parkinson's disease is a disease of movement disorder, and of course we get this more as we age. And what they did was, this is not available yet, but what they did is they had a specifically designed device that people wore that tracked their movements and could detect early signs of Parkinson's disease. And this was a specifically designed device that people wore. On the other hand, on the other wrist were people wearing Apple Watches. Now, Apple Watch records movement, right? Because of course they record movement for sleep and how much sleep and all sorts of reasons why they record movement, but they don't specifically look at that movement for Parkinson's disease. But the researchers took that information and compared it to their specific device that they had designed, and it was very close. So they're working now on an app that will go back over movement that people have and see if they can predict who is going to be developing Parkinson's disease. So you could get some warnings that this may be something that's coming up, and you should see a physician and so on and so forth. So this is an interesting article, but I suspect in the next few years we'll see on Apple Watches, not only will it do all the things it does with these watches, but it will be looking at movement disorders.
I was reading in one of my AI newsletters also on talking about Parkinson's, using AI. They have discovered and they're working on the fact that they can tell now, and it's not through a watch. It's I think through either some kind of equipment or medication. They can tell you if you're going to be getting Parkinson's sometime in the future.
Yes.
So
yeah. That's right.
So
yeah.
that's even before this.
Yeah.
So it's AI is going to give us a lot of different medical advances very quickly that we're waiting years for.
And also the thing that's exciting is that we're already wearing these devices that actually have the sensors that are tracking a lot of data. And so far the data is only being used for specific things, but that data may be used for a lot of other medical things that they can test for.
Ron, didn't you do a survey recently asking people what the most common feature was from their watch? And the answer was telling time.
Yes. yeah, that's right. Really? Watches tell time. There you go.
They wear the watches, but they take their phone out to look at the time.
there you go. Does anyone get car sick?
Does anyone times on the really twisting roads?
Carol, when I have to buy a new one.
New car or new anyway.
New car, yeah.
So this is I think we talked about this. This is an Apple story. It's an iPhone story with iOS 18. I think we talked about this. Was it last week or the week before? Anyway, just to remind you that Apple in iOS 18 can reduce your car sickness. Now, not for people who are driving. If driving, but people who are driving and have their hands on the wheel don't generally get car sick. But if you are a passenger, like we saw this when I did a lot of sailing and yachting. If you're out on the helm and you're crashing through the waves, you're not usually sick. But if you go down below into the cockpit and all that movement, you get instantly seasick. So motion sickness, particularly for like Carol, for people who are passengers in a car, can be a big problem, right?
Right. We actually have some often we'll have to switch drivers because if she's behind the wheel, she's fine. But as a passenger, just like you said, Ron, that's when it occurs. So
iOS 18 can fix that. So there's a switch. There's a little toggle switch on your iPhone, and that you can turn that on. And what it does, it has some dots or circles on the screen that move around and I'm not sure how this works. It's in the article, but and this can help prevent motion sickness. So I thought if you are an iPhone user and you may not know that feature is there, I thought it was a good feature to have on.
Good to
Of course,
know.
18 is not out yet. It's still in beta. It'll be out later this year.
Yeah. So that's I thought that was a good feature. Now, is there anything under here, Huey, that I can't see?
It looks like it. It's go to mine.
Okay. Oh yeah. Just to let you know, we don't talk about Huawei very much because of it's not available in Canada. The Huawei
US,
phones,
yeah.
they aren't sold. But just let you know that I thought there was an interesting article this morning. Basically the Huawei now outsells the iPhone in China, which is not excuse me, not unusual, but we're talking about large numbers, and it is unusual because iPhone has always dominated, but now Huawei has dominated over iPhone in China. And I just thought that was an interesting observation.
Yeah, and I posted another article dealing with Apple and what they're trying to do, and I'll hold off my comments until then. But
Okay.
But just remember this article.
Do you want to go down and see if I'll see if I get what's the next? I think I've got that one. Right, I can do this one. Yes, just let everyone know that this was just an update. Android 15, of course, isn't out. It's reached its third round of beta testing and should be. Everything is going fine, and this is when they actually. This is when the developers all step in and make their final decisions if everything's okay. So we should be seeing this out soon. This was interesting. We talked about this last week. Of course, I had my little memory stop in the intro there, but we talked all about streaming TV last Monday, and the interesting thing was, of course, people are looking now for freer or low cost streaming services, and if you look at the article, it said that free streaming services are becoming even more popular as cord cutters look for cheaper options. Now, according to Nielsen's monthly platform, Tubi, Pluto TV, and the Roku channel are now among the most watched streaming services in May of 2024. And it lists the top streaming, but the top, of course, is YouTube, which, of course, that's not surprising. But it was
YouTube TV.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Just YouTube, not YouTube TV.
Okay.
No, YouTube, Netflix, and then Hulu. But people are looking in Tubi. Do you guys watch, like, I don't know if Tubi's in Canada, but Tubi and Pluto TV and the Roku channel are the most watched, and a significant number of people are moving over to that platform. So I thought that was interesting.
They all have ads, right? Am I correct? They all have ads?
Correct, yeah.
So
yeah.
That's a loser for me immediately. I won't watch it.
Yeah.
I have all three on my TVs, and I watch Pluto TV a lot. They have a lot of the old TV series, especially some of the situation comedies. Yeah.
Right. Any comments? We're sort of got the last 15 minutes.
No, I think we got them spellbound here.
We're okay. They're all just captivated at our
Spellbound by the moon.
Good. Huey, this is your article?
Yeah, let me move down to it so I can remind myself. This was an article on using Copilot to easily create PowerPoint presentations in minutes. I haven't read through this and tried what they're suggesting. There are a couple of AI apps out there that do make it easy to go create a PowerPoint presentation using AI. But this is going to be interesting to see how using Copilot does it. what you do is you make Copilot part of PowerPoint and then utilize them together.
Interesting. It's really interesting. I used to be a big PowerPoint user, and I think most of my presentations about 4 or 5 years ago, I produced all in PowerPoint. So I got pretty good at it, but I haven't used it for 4 or 5 years now. I just haven't I just make my videos other ways, and I find it more efficient. But they really must be doing some pretty incredible things with PowerPoint.
They are, and I use it a lot because a lot of my presentations have to do with screen captures and showing things, and it's a lot easier to do it in PowerPoint than trying to make short videos out of it.
Right. This is yours. Stop giving.
Yep. It just gives you some alternatives for some temporary or alternative email addresses that you can use. So when you see something that you want to take a look at and it wants you to sign in and give an email address, you might want to use a different address than your main one. So if they are trolling to try to get your email address, they're getting something other than your main email address.
All right. And every single iOS 18 feature reveal.
You missed one.
Did I?
Yep.
Probably on yours then. Hold on, I'll go over to you.
Some executives from ADHD startup were arrested and charged with fraud. They put this multi-million-dollar company together and were selling fake ADHD medications and making all kinds of money. They were doing it with Medicare and Medicaid, and it was an elaborate scheme. And they arrested the guys, and they had made millions of dollars.
Nasty business.
Oh.
And then this one is every single iOS feature revealed. So if you want to know what's coming with the iOS 18, whether you have an iPad or an iPhone, you might want to read through this article and get an idea what you're going to be getting. Now, if it has to do with AI, for the most part, unless you have the phones that have the M chip, those things won't work. But there's a lot of other features in 18 that will be worthwhile taking a look at.
Just head down. I'll let you keep going because I think
Okay. This is the article that let's see.
I posted this one. China and India lead the charge in digital wallets as they overtake cash and cards in Asia. So we've talked about digital wallets a lot, and of course I use mine all the time. It is much more secure than actual physical credit cards, and so it is going to be a big part of our economy. As you see, when China and Asia, this is now taken over as payment services. So
it's about 2 billion users.
Yeah.
Between the two countries.
Yeah. That's just we put it on twice. We're getting a lot of LA banned smartphones in schools in the US. Of course, in Canada, there have been a number of school districts across the country now, not only school districts, but provinces who have banned cell phones in schools. And so there is, I think it's interesting, there certainly is a big feeling that we need to have kids in there learning and not on their phones all the time. Anyway, it's I thought that was an interesting article.
The one problem with that is with all of the school shootings and so on that we have, with kids having their phones, for emergency situations, it's good that they have them with them, but maybe ban the use of them. But if kids have them in their pockets, they're going to find a way to use them.
Right.
Yeah, it's nice that smartphones, at least all the ones that I've seen, have an on-off switch.
Yeah, well, there you go.
If you're in school, it's just you can carry it, but it's turned off. And if
Turned
the
off, yeah.
instructor catches you with it turned on, that's when you get a demerit or whatever they call them today.
Right.
Yeah. How many meetings do you go to? They say, please turn your phones off, and inevitably somebody's phone rings in a meeting.
But
So
don't they feel
so that's
ostracized?
adults.
But they feel ostracized when that happens, and that's the best penalty.
Yeah.
All right, just roll down there and we'll see. I think we got it. Ah, this is a good one. This is one of my great articles I want to talk about. How to help your smartphone survive in a heat wave. So, Ray, when you go down to Phoenix
Yeah.
and you're taking your phone, is it gonna? So I thought this was with all the heat we've had lately, particularly in the South. I thought this was a great article, and I learned a few things about this.
What is the temperature, the Fahrenheit, that they recommend not exceeding?
Well, hot and over I can't remember. I think it's over 100 degrees, 110. Your phone
That's
is
every day.
yeah. So here, but there are some simple things you can do, and I thought it was interesting that because I hadn't really thought about this much. But the first thing is of course we know not to leave your phone in the car in the heat when you're not there, right? So that's important. The other thing is to take the cover off your phone. Most of us have our phones in some sort of protective cover, but that adds heat to the phone, and that prevents particularly if it's plastic or something. Take the cover off your phone because that'll help it stay cooler, right?
Very good point. I never would have thought of that. Knowing me, though, because one of the reasons I like to have a cover on my phone is it will not slip out of my hands easily.
Right.
Otherwise,
right.
So now the phone will be that it won't be too hot, but it'll break because I drop it.
True. But in really hot days when you're in and you have to have your phone with you, maybe you're going to you're going out, you're going to some sort of outdoor event, and it's really hot out, then you really want to make sure you take that cover off. The other one is don't put it in your bum pocket, right? If you're putting it in your bum pocket, then your body heat is just going to heat up your phone. So if you are traveling, particularly if you're maybe a girl, you have it in a purse, or you have it on a neck strap, or have it something other than in your bum pocket, because that adds heat. And
actually, I was going to say they have phones that fold now.
Yeah, that's true.
You put them in your shirt pocket.
Yeah. And the other one was, how many of you hop in the car and it's hot in the car? What do you first do? You plug your phone in and and it's charged. So charging in heat is really bad because charging causes heat. So if you hop in the car and it's really hot, don't plug it into your car charger and leave it on the dash as you're driving. Bring it home, bring it in the house, the air conditioning on, it's cooler, put it on the charger and charge it in your house where it's cooler. Don't charging in really hot weather is one of the things that can really seriously damage your phone. So I thought it was an interesting article.
Yeah, another thing you want to make sure is not to put it on the dash because the sun's coming through the window. But also don't put it on if you're driving alone, don't put it on the passenger seat, because a lot of times the sun's coming in is going to hit it and make it get hot as well. I sat on my carport, and I've got some nice rockers out there, and I enjoyed it. I had my iPad out there. All of a sudden, it stopped working. It said it's overheated, and I had to take it into the house and wait probably about an hour for it to cool down enough to use it again.
And it really degrades the battery. It really gives it a big hit. When it gets overheated and you charge it, it's bad news. It'll shut down for sure, but it's really hard on the battery. Okay,
a lot of the newer cars have charging pads built into the car, and they are in a console, so they're out of the sunlight. That's how I usually charge my phone in the car.
Right. This was an interesting one. I didn't realize this, but Apple had brought in a program about a year ago where you can automatically convert your charge on your Apple Pay to a loan. So So if you charge something and on Apple Pay, says, hey, if it's a larger amount, do you want to convert this to a loan? You say yes. And it said it wouldn't affect your credit report, and it just automatically converts it to a loan. Well, there was a lot of deceptive advertising in there and some sort of not so nice stuff happening. So rather than deal with all that, they just canned the program. I thought that was that's a bit weird. Anyway, they canned that. This is Bob's top things you need to know about Copilot. We're going to play this on Monday. This is a good video Bob made. So we're going to play that on Monday. That's a great one. Let's have a look. Flip phone sales are surging. Ray, this comes back to your flip phone. Flip phone sales are surging as folks seek connection with discretion. But not only that, excuse me, but there are flip phones now that are like the old. They're not smartphones. They're just a flip phone like we have. Like people are fed up with all this stuff. They just want, guess what? A phone. So
some entrepreneuring parents have done that for their younger kids who say, I need a phone, and they like them to have a phone so they can kind of know that they can call them in an emergency, but they don't want to have all the features that kids. So that's the kind of flip phone they're buying for some of the younger generation.
Exactly. They still make them.
Does that work on the current networks, or do you have to go to a specific?
No, it's LTE. I don't know about 5, but definitely LTE networks. So they're modernly built phones, just without all the extra features.
Yeah. So they're not old phones, Bill. They're not old flip phones that people had for many, many years. These are currently produced with all the modern stuff, but they're not smartphones. This is a new one. So Motorola just released this. We don't talk a lot about Motorola phones, but they sell about 40 million phones a year in the United States. They're very popular, great phones. They work well, and they've just released a foldable phone. This is the new Razor, and if you're interested, you can look at that article. Just
you might want to take a look at the time.
Yeah, I know we got a minute. We got any other? Just roll down a bit more, Huey. Let's just see if we can see any interesting ones here. We talked about that.
We talked about that.
And that can go down. And Bob's one of Bob's. We'll play that. Parkinson's, we talked about that.
That's the article I talked about. Yeah.
Yeah, and just roll
7
down.
years early. Yeah.
Yeah. And
we talked about
that's what I'm going to talk about on Monday.
Okay. All right.
Okay, good.
Well, we're sort of finished. We're sort of I'm going to stop that. And we will let's look at the articles. Let me just we'll remove this from here. Mike says, Lake comment, I use Google Fi for my cell phone service. My deal was all of my purchase price of my Pixel 8 refunded after. Yes. So they have Fi also has, well, it's owned by Google, so they always have these great deals. I think that's how I bought my Pixel 3. Great deal. You can get they often have them as Mike said, refunded the full purchase price. So that's great. Good one.
You have the Google One subscriber to? No,
nothing to do with Google One. Nothing to do. And, Google Fi for traveling. Thank you, gentlemen. John says, thank you, gentlemen. Enjoyed today's stream. Thanks, John, for coming. Thanks a lot. Google Fi, particularly if you're traveling around the world, they provide fast internet access. Super deal. It's a super deal. Mike says 1-1 at halftime.
Well, that Denmark and England.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Enjoy your rest
of the game.
Yeah, rest of the game for sure. All right. Well, listen, I want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank our viewers out there for coming and listening to us today. That is great. I want to thank our panel today. Thank you, Huey, for coming, and we'll be seeing you soon on Monday. And thank you, Bill. And work on that big, tall, high-rise you're building there. and then, of course, Ray, we'll be seeing you on Monday, of course, and as usual. And enjoy the rest of your sunny week. And we will, of course, be ready to on our Monday show coming up. we'll have we have a great program organized for you. We'll be talking about that. And if you want to find out how to keep in touch with us and find out what our shows are doing, if you go to our website, www.techforsenior.com, you can sign up for our newsletter. You get 2 free. We don't charge for them, do we?
No.
It's free. It's absolutely free. And you know what? And if and we send it out twice a week with great articles, and it's absolutely free. And just in closing, before we go, remember that like and subscribe. If you're still listening, Deb Shannon says thank you guys. Mike Saunders says thank you all. Thanks a lot. Hit that like, but not only the like, but please hit the subscribe. That really helps the channel, and we will see you all soon. Bye now, and thanks again for coming.
So long.